Hey there, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to dive into what I think are the top 5 communities that you should pay attention to if you're a young family looking to buy or move to Cochrane, Alberta in 2025. If you're new to this channel, my name is Reid. I'm a real estate agent here in the Cochrane, Alberta area, and this channel is dedicated to community tours and bringing you the most information that I can provide about the Cochrane Alberta real estate market, keeping you as a buyer or seller informed in today's market. Now, as I mentioned, this video is going to dive into all things young families. So if that is you, stick around. We're going to talk about parks, we're going to talk about amenities, we're going to talk about safety, affordability, location, and all the things that I think make up a great community for a young family to look into purchasing in 2025. Now, this list is not going to be in any specific order, but the first community that I'm going to dive into is Fireside. Fireside is located just south of Cochrane, up Highway 22, which makes it a great location for families that like to spend a lot of times out west in the mountains, as you can make a quick and easy exit out of Cochrane, down 22, and out to the mountains that way. Fireside also has 2 great schools with Fireside School and Holy Spirit Catholic School. Both of them are currently K-8. And for a high school, Fireside will go across Highway 22 into Bow Valley High School. Now, a few of the other great things about Fireside is it's got a very diverse amount of properties. So anywhere from condominiums to townhomes, duplexes, smaller single detached homes, all the way up to triple car detached homes. So with that, it gives the young families a big amount of styles and affordability ranges to choose from in this same community. Fireside also has an outdoor skating rink that's set up, as well as multiple parks, lots of pathways, good green space areas surrounding the community, and a little BMX pump track and a pretty darn good tobogganing hill for kids to play on in the winter as well. And the last great thing about Fireside is that, especially for the parents of those young families, there are some basic amenities right at the mouth of the community. There's a gas station, a few fast food restaurants, a pharmacy. Those are some pretty big wins, especially if you have young children, to be able to run out to a pharmacy and pick up some last minute Tylenol without having to drive all the way into town is super efficient. Or if you're on the way to hockey practice or gymnastics or out to the mountains, and yes, the car doesn't have any fuel, you can get that gas right as you leave your community and not have to make an extra stop down into Cochrane or along a more expensive stop along the highway heading to those mountain and weekend adventures. And so for all of those reasons, I think Fireside definitely should be in your top 5 if you're a young family. Next up on the list is Sunset Ridge. Now, Sunset Ridge is Cochrane, Alberta's largest community currently. It's over 28 phases currently, with more to come. Now, the one big thing to note with Sunset Ridge is that it has a K-8 school in Ranchview Elementary that is public, that has restricted the enrollment to only Sunset Ridge residents. So that school, due to those restrictions, is actually operating at a lower capacity level than all the other schools in Cochrane, as they're retaining some room for the future phases to come. So if you have a young family with students in the K-8 and you don't want to have to worry about overcrowded schools, Sunset Ridge may be the place to look for you. Sunset Ridge also has a large community pond with a very well interconnected pathway that goes throughout the community. And that same pathway system connects up into the ranch house pathway system down below, giving you a lot of access to some really great natural spaces and natural walking, if that is something you're into. Now, Sunset Ridge, being that it's a large community, obviously there is a ton of different diversity of home styles, with condominiums, townhouses, duplexes, all the way up to the pinnacle, which is Sunset Ridge's estate home lots. So again, for a young family in any budget class, Sunset Ridge will have something for you. A few things to note with Sunset Ridge, and we can talk about that more in the Sunset Ridge video, is that it's located north of Cochrane, up Highway 22. So to get to the mountains, it's a little bit further of a drive, unless you dip off on Highway 1A and cut through Morley. But to access all of your amenities outside of a pharmacy, a dentist office, and a gas station, you will have to go down and into Cochrane proper for all of your groceries. So a very similar setup to Fireside, giving you a few amenities right at the mouth of the community, but then going into the main part of Cochrane for the rest of your shopping needs. Now, third up on this list is Heartland. Now, Heartland makes the list, in my opinion, because Heartland is one of the more affordable new communities here in Cochrane. Where Heartland is located is just west of Cochrane along Highway 1A, and it's bound by Highway 1A and the railroad tracks. The style of home that you're finding in Heartland ranges all the way up from large two-story single-family detached homes, but there is a lot of duplex homes and single-family laned homes in Heartland as well, especially coming in the next phase. Heartland itself, because it is a smaller community, it's not up on the hillsides, it doesn't have the same mountain views as Sunset Ridge or Rivercrest or Heritage Hills on the north side. Heartland, therefore, actually draws a slightly lower purchase price than those surrounding communities. So I think that gives a really good entry level into the market buying opportunity for some young families to get into a newer home without having to pay the price tag of those higher sought after communities of Sunset Ridge and some of the communities south of the Bow River like Rivercrest, the Willows, and Riviera. Now, in terms of schools, Heartland, unlike the first two communities here, does not have a school currently in the community. Obviously, there is spots for a future school site, but that planning is further down the road. Neither of those sites have been approved for provincial funding for even the planning stage at this point. So you would have to then commute out of Heartland into Cochrane proper for the schools. The K-4 is in town in Glenboy Elementary, and then the 5-8 is Mitford School, which you could actually cross the tracks on a pedestrian walkway and walk to that school from Heartland. Now, the fourth community making the list is Rivercrest. Now, Rivercrest is one of the group of communities located south of the Bow River and it's in the same pocket as the Willows, Riversong, Riviera, Precedence, and all those communities down that way. Now, Rivercrest is in a great location as it's close to Highway 22, again on the south side of the river, making a quick getaway to the mountains and access to all of that recreation west very easy, but it also allows you to get into Cochrane either down 22 that route or along River Heights Drive and down into Cochrane the back way, making it a really close community to the Spray Lakes Family Sawmill Center for all the recreation needs, which is great for young families with all of their programs with swimming lessons, open gym time, gymnastics lessons, and 3 hockey rinks. If you're a young family with active kids, you're going to spend a lot of time there, so Rivercrest is a great spot. Now, one of the big things to note about Rivercrest is it just received full funding and approval from the province and the Rocky View School District for construction of its K-8 school. So with those full approvals, that school is moved out of the planning phase and now into the construction phase, meaning that once they start breaking ground, we're looking at around 3 to 4 years. So if you're a young family that hasn't yet to start having kids, but know that that's in your future, Rivercrest might be a great option as you're going to have a K-8 elementary school within walking distance. Rivercrest itself is only about 5 phases. It's a really small community. Some of the homes still back onto a green space 100-acre reserve land. So in that sense, you're going to have a K-8 school walking distance right inside the community, and then just down the street, right beside the Willows, Bow Valley High School, which is your 9 to 12. Is going to be right there. So from the Rivercrest community, you're going to have all of your K-12 education within walking distance of that community, which makes it a great option for young families. Now, last but not least, I want to highlight a little bit of a more mature neighborhood in these top 5, because obviously the first 4 were all newer communities with newer construction homes. So the last community area that I'm going to highlight in the top 5 is West Terrace and West Valley. Now, technically 2 different communities, but they're joined to each other and they're in the same location. They're located off Quigley Drive, just west of downtown Cochrane. What makes West Valley and West Terrace great is you have an older, more mature neighborhood. It has wider streets, it's got wider lots, so there's a little bit more room to play, a little bit bigger yards. So for the young families that want to be outside all the time with a better yard, this is a great spot to look. A lot of the homes will need some updating, and with that, you can get into these communities at a slightly lower price point than some of the newer communities here in Cochrane, but you will have to potentially do some upgrades and some maintenance on these homes once you move in. Now, some great things to note about West Valley and West Terrace is those communities do line the Bow River, so you're only a short walk away from the Bow River pathway system. You're a short walk away from Mitford Ponds, which is a stocked little trout pond, which is great for kids and youth to go fishing. There's soccer fields, ball diamonds, and then a little skate park nearby as well. Then as for amenities, everything is inside of Cochrane proper, but West Valley and West Terrace are quite close to downtown Cochrane, making it a little bit of a shorter drive than the other communities that I've talked about so far to get your groceries and be in downtown Cochrane. As well, you do have all the amenities and gas stations, fast food restaurants along that little service road area along Highway 22 at the entrance to the Quigley Drive. And then finally, the school situation in West Valley and West Terrace is a little bit different. So if you are looking for just general public schooling, your kids are going to go into Cochrane proper for their K-4 at Glenbow Elementary. Staying on the west side of Highway 22 inside of West Valley, the 5 to 8 Mitford Elementary School is present. But if you are a young family in Cochrane who is very interested in French immersion and full French schooling, then West Valley and West Terrace are the perfect communities for you to live in, because the École de Notre Dame de Vallée, which is the French immersion school, which takes you all the way from K to 12 here in Cochrane, Alberta, is located right at the intersection of West Valley and West Terrace along Quigley Drive. So giving those French immersion students a full range of their education at a walking distance school inside of these two communities makes it a very unique and I think a different thing to bring up and mention for those young families that may be considering a French immersion schooling. So that rounds out my list of what I think the top 5 communities for young families are in Cochrane. Obviously, I've given you my reasons why, ranging from schooling, pathway systems, close proximity to the mountains, and everything else. I'd like to know what you think. Where do you live in Cochrane, and what do you think is a community you'd be interested in? Moving forward, if you are looking for some more advice in the Cochrane Alberta real estate market and are looking for an agent to help you along with that journey, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like, subscribe, and stick around with this channel. And then if you have any other specific questions or are starting that journey yourself, please reach out and get a hold of me. I'd love to help you in this process and provide you any information I can and help guide you in navigating your real estate journeys in Cochrane, Alberta. Thanks. I will catch you in the next one.